Lifting is felt so good, even though I'm trying to lose weight.
Yeah.
It just, dude, I told myself I wasn't going to record and weigh myself. So right now I'm 215. I was
Okay.
at 217.
Okay.
So I'm about 2 pounds down for about, I wouldn't say 2 pounds. I'd say it's probably depends on what day you're looking at. But I'm only, since I don't want to be too anal and too like OCD about it, I'm only going to record maybe like 75% of the time,
Okay.
and then
Okay.
I'm going to weigh myself only on Wednesdays and Saturdays. So
Okay.
today I weighed in at 215, and then on Saturday I'm hoping to weigh on like the lower half of 215 because I think I was like 0.4, 0.6, so
Okay.
maybe like 0.4 down. But man, I just, as much as I need to lose weight for the reception that's going to happen. I don't want to lose weight because I feel like my strength is finally getting there, and so are like my gains. But I'm excited to see how I'm going to look because if you look at it, like what, a year and a half ago, 2 years when I proposed to Sam, I was at like 192, 193, and I want to because I do have shirtless photos and stuff. I want to see where I'm at with what what weight determines my muscle capacity
Yeah.
type deal.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm really interested. I think you're going to see a lot of progress. I can't wait for people to see it, for you guys to see it, for you to see it, Roman. But that would be really nice. I can't wait for that to happen. Hopefully by March, like I said, hopefully I'll look chiseled by then, or somewhat chiseled. Because it's not like my show weight. I think when I competed, when I was like probably sub 5% or under 5, that was at 160, but I'm not getting nowhere near that. I mean, we're talking like 25, 30 pounds over stage weight. So,
Yeah.
um,
It's nice to see the abs come in and stuff like that, though.
yeah.
When I've
And the
definitely been missing
vascularity.
it. Yeah. 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 I've
I
definitely
feel,
missed
yeah.
abs.
Yeah. It's there. I mean, you could feel it. It's just covered by that
Nice healthy layer.
water weight.
No. It's definitely got some fat going on.
Some adipose tissue, some fat, some cheeseburgers.
But I mean, like mostly, I've never really been stronger. I guess my squat technically has been stronger before, but I'll think about it sometimes, and I'll be like talking to Billy about it, and I'm like, does it really matter? Not really, because I'm not going for strength. I'm going for size. I'm going for mass. Like I don't lift. I don't. When I do a squat, I don't lift it like a power lifter would. I lift it like a bodybuilder would, like nice
Yeah.
and slow, controlled, eccentric. Um, like I try to standardize it as much as I can. Like I guess like the concentric would be the same, but the eccentric portion is like very, very, very different. And I like my form would be totally different. Like if I was just trying to muscle it up, my feet would be much wider. I would bend over like much more, and I'd rely more on my ass to lift the weight up as opposed to my quads.
Yeah.
So those
Yeah,
might
I
seem
see.
like subtle. Hey Sam, what's going on?
It might be.
So those might be like subtle differences, but like from like how it feels for
Yeah.
like the lifter's perspective, it's like totally different.
Yeah, and shout out to Billy. As much as he doesn't really like talking about lifting and like probably share his thoughts, I've been trying to get him on the podcast, just for fun.
That
So
would be awesome.
hopefully we get him on one of these days. If you're watching, Billy, we want you on here, buddy, at least once, just to say like you did it, and you got the experience, and also. Bring out the shyness of him. So, and honestly, like, I'm still beltless training. I know Roman knows, but a lot of the times, I haven't been posting. I'll probably post a little bit more, but I did deadlift 405 beltless, and then I think I hit, what is it, 235 squats, right? Wasn't it beltless for one rep?
I thought it was like 245 or 255.
Oh, I wish. I don't. I think it was 235.
Okay.
It's kind of grindy, but you know what? I'm proud of myself because when I've been recording a little bit more with squats, and I feel like I'm dipping a lot lower than I used to, which is like really great because I have never really done that before. I always try to stop at like 90 degrees, and what I realized that I don't want to miss out on those gains. But if I ever get serious in powerlifting competitions, which I don't know if I would or will, I don't think I should worry about where the hip crease lies unless I was serious about it, right, Roman? Like shouldn't have to worry about it too much unless for some reason I go for a big PR in world powerlifting championship and miss it by an inch, which I don't know if that's ever going to be feasible for my lifestyle anyway. So
I mean, there's reasons to like at least like keep it in the back of your mind, because let's say you're just chasing weight, you might like end up being higher and higher and higher each time, and get used to like not going down as low. So sinking the squat as much as you can as is comfortable and is reasonable too.
Yeah, it's crazy. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, it's probably the way to go. I like what Johnny Candido says about it. It's like it's a game of averages. So sometimes you're slightly below parallel, fine. And sometimes you're slightly above parallel, fine. If like the average is like right at parallel, or where your like hip crease is just below the top of your knee, so technically slightly lower, then like that's perfect from a powerlifting perspective. And then from hypertrophy, you just want to go the maximum range of motion your body allows you to. So you're kind of somewhere in between. So I would say you probably do on average want to squat below parallel, because also it appears that individuals that do that, they have like they have less issues with their knees, for example. And I also think from like a general preparedness standpoint that's like the best way to go, because if like you're gonna squat on the toilet, like what if it's like a short toilet? Are you only gonna stop at parallel? It's like, okay, I'm just gonna freaking air shoot this and hope I get it into the toilet,
Yeah, or you're in the middle of the woods and you just kind of do like the leg spread and just let it just flop right out. But yeah, I've been doing that. Still haven't benched. Hopefully you guys aren't mad out there. I know I was hitting some big numbers, but big numbers equals big risks, big rewards, big injuries. So right now, I mean, I think I worked up to 45 pounds or 50-pound dumbbells in each arm. Honestly, like I said before, like I haven't really felt any pain, like, in my shoulder / like lat area on my right side. Doing a lot of warm-up drills. I've been doing a lot of warm-up drills. On my upper days, I'll do a lot of bandit work before I even lift. So I'll do like face pulls. I'll do like rear delt flies. I'll even do like rows with the band just to get my upper body pretty warm. And then like on my squat days, I'll pretty much like my buddy Anthony, the one that works with us, that's the power lifter. He he gave me like that shoulder mobility drill where pretty much I stand against the wall, and I'll just do a couple of those throughout my squat reps while I'm warming up, because since I'm doing the bar, I'll do like 95 or 135 pounds to start. I'll just do those after every set so I can get my shoulders warmed up before I get under the bar. I'm still not moving my hands close to me when I squat. Just because I think it's personal preference at this point. I might have a looser back. It just, I don't know. I just feel like if I can maintain my shoulder pain or have zero pain at all, then what I'd rather lose some of the weight or some of the tightness, I should say, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, episode, what is it, 86? Holy cow. Please tell me it's not 86. I think it's 85 or 86. I'm pretty sure it's 86 though. Also, side note before we start, does anyone else watch a lot of truck camping or car camping on YouTube besides Roman and I? Because I know Roman does sometimes.
I was gonna start getting back into it.
Yeah, so Sam watches her show on Mondays, and it like there was like a Monday Tuesday show. I'm not gonna name the show because whatever, I don't care too much. But it's not my type of show. Let's just say that. So it's like 2 hours long. So literally yesterday for like 2 hours, I was watching like stealth camping, how to line your truck in your truck bed with like some of the areas and what like the best things are for that. So comment,
Nice.
subscribe, comment to that. You know, if you guys do look into that, that does seem interesting. And with the work from home lifestyle, it's definitely feasible. Like the guy was in the Moab canyons in Utah. Oh my gosh. Literally, he backed up his car like 5 feet away from like the edge of a canyon. And just to even have breakfast or a cup of coffee, just seeing that in the morning. I mean, yeah, it's going to be lonely as fuck, but like it's like I can't, I would never, I can, you know, I would never, I don't even know how that would feel. It's just never, I've never done that. So, but yeah, episode
Amazing,
86, plantar fasciitis. What the heck is it? Why do we get it? What is it? Like, am I growing plants in my body? Why even call it plantar fasciitis? I know Roman's gonna come up with like the technical term, like, well, you see, the plantar has to deal with like the bottom portion of the peripheral of the foot, and but yeah, no, we're gonna be talking about that. Roman, I mean, you're eating here and there, but we're going to be talking about that today, like what it is, what can you do to like maybe help, like, you know, benefits, like if you're going through that pain or to prevent it, or I did read some areas where like they're like myth busting it through Squat University, which I don't know if we ever really present in our videos as much as we should. But if you haven't checked out Squat University on Instagram or YouTube, I think they have a pretty big YouTube channel as well. But Instagram's a little bit more digestible information type deal. If you want something that's like digestible, it's not over the top. But they pretty much go over like, you know, injuries, things like plantar fasciitis, things like the squat, and a lot more scientific information that you can like possibly get for like preventative injuries, all that good stuff. So, Roman, I'm gonna have you start it off, buddy. I know you're just swallowed, but I'm gonna let you talk, and
Oh,
then
good.
I will go from there because I've been talking too much already.
I love it, buddy. Yeah, so this is called like runner's foot or plantar fasciitis. So it's essentially like inflammation of the plantar fascia. I believe I've heard and read before that it's kind of like a misnomer. So it's fascia is usually referred to as like connective tissue, and this is actually like a muscle. So it's the muscle that like performs this action for the foot. It essentially brings like the toe closer to the heel.
Yeah.
And it's an extremely important muscle when it comes to the mobility and the movement of the foot. So every time you step, you're flexing the plantar fascia. Excuse me. So when you are, let's see, let me make sure I get my terminology correct. So dorsiflexion is when your the top of the foot is getting closer to the shin. Your plantar fascia, I believe, is an extension, and when you're plantar flexing your foot, the plantar fascia is in flexion. A lot of runners will end up getting like inflammation of this muscle just because of the most likely like the continually centric loading that is involved with running. So I think the general recommendation, which is like kind of carried on for a long time, is to just like lay off it for a few days, let the inflammation go down. But one thing that I wanted to talk about, prevention and or a treatment strategy that's worked for me personally, which you can absolutely try. It may not work for you, it may, but has been to really accentuate. And I'll post a video on our on the GPIG soon about how I recommend like the protocol I recommend for this. But it would be doing a calf raise on an elevated surface I really prefer the incline platform because it allows you to get the greatest amount of extension of the plantar flexure, or the amount of like flexion. So like essentially what's happening with like the muscle fibers is you're getting them to stretch out as much as possible. You're getting that stretch reflex. So I sit down in the bottom position. Here, let me see if I can show you really quick.
If you're just listening to the audio, Roman is about to do some amazing work. So if you're just listening to the audio, this part you'll have to check it out on YouTube to see what Roman's kind of performing right now. And also, he's got a lot of tennis balls.
Yeah. All right, I'm gonna show you the foot. I'm gonna get some light in here.
Hey, when's the last time you washed your foot, buddy?
I don't know, last night. It's not too dirty.
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
All right. Can you see this here?
Yeah.
The bottom of the foot. All right. So we're gonna try.
Just don't fall over.
Yeah. So I like to really accentuate the bottom, and usually I'm holding onto a bar, and then come up to the top of my toes. Really squeeze the calf muscle, and you're causing the plantar fascia to now, like, according to side filament theory, it's going to be like coming into itself. I'm accentuating a little bit more than I usually would. Straight, come down, really flex it, come up.
You look like a ballerina.
Down, hold it, up, hold the concentric or the flex position, and control on the eccentric. Really, I really want you to emphasize the control on the eccentric, okay? I don't want you to come down like that. Okay, because what's happening when you do that is the force vectors are shooting out of the plantar fascia, and the muscle's not able to control the load. We want to create what's called a local analgesic effect. So essentially, it's the body sending pleasure signals to that area, so that it's trying to reward movement. Okay. So this is a treatment strategy that's worked effectively for me because I'm able to actually strengthen the plantar fascia. What I'd recommend for you to start is anywhere from 2 to 3 sets, 8 to 12 reps, nice and slow. If you can't do it like with just your body weight, that's okay to take body weight off. It's okay to do it in a seated position, but you do want to have some amount of weight. So I would say in general, you want to work your way up to being able to do it with body weight. And you can even add weight. Sometimes I'll take a dumbbell, a 45, 60-pound dumbbell, hold it in left or right hand, and I'll do it that way. Yeah,
or the Smith machine. You can load a Smith machine maybe and just they sometimes, I forgot what those platforms are called. It reminds me of like the 70s workouts where you take a step down. Those things you could use.
I think they just call them steps, right? A step.
Yeah, I mean, get your handy dandy plastic step.
Yeah.
Yeah. One thing to note. I have it pulled up for the Mayo Clinic. It pretty much. They also say it could be caused by being a little bit overweight, and also when you wear shoes that have like inadequate support. So, obviously we don't support like being overweight too much. So that's like a common like theme with a lot of these like health risks and problems, I would say. And then like shoes with inadequate support, just, make sure you're changing out your shoes. You probably shouldn't have a problem unless you're, like I said, you're wearing shoes that are like over like a year or 2 years, when you're, you wear them to, half to death, and you just, and the rubber things flapping, you ever been through those times? Those are the struggles. I've been there. Don't worry about it. I worked in a restaurant when my shoe was literally, I would have to like glue it like with a black glue to like make it look like, because it was like a black uniform. And that's probably not good for definitely not good for your feet, especially if you work in the industry where you could be on your feet for 12 hours at a time. So also for those people that work like construction, a nurse, a doctor. I mean, my brother's a doctor, and the other day he worked a 28-hour shift. If he's not wearing shoes that are like, able to let his feet breathe, get good blood flow, as well as give good support, you're getting a one-way ticket to a lot of like injuries. You can even get probably like, some hip, back injuries if you're like, not, getting the appropriate support. I just wanted to add on there. Thanks, Roman, for sharing that. Also, because I brought up Squat University, they did make a post about this. It's shown from April. So I'll just read the post and kind of like, Roman, if you want to comment, or we can make some comments after. So Squat University tends to believe that it's not so much an inflammation problem. Rather, the plantar fascia pain is due to a lack of consistent blood flow, which Roman's kind of like going over like the preventative treatments where he was doing that, like the tiptoe on the chair. So that kind of goes to that point. It says lack of consistent blood flow to the plantar fascia by the tibialis posterior artery. When the big toe is smashed inward with narrow shoes, this artery is limited in supplying blood to the bottom of the foot. Even more, when the foot is consistently supported in narrow shoes, muscles atrophy and lengthen, placing more stress on the plantar fascia rather than being too tight with the plantar fascia and chronically extended. It needs to be relaxed by wearing wider toe shoes and using newer product called Correct Toes. And if you know Squat University, they support Correct Toes. It's pretty much like their toe spacers with your feet. That's Squat University has been going pretty deep into like widening your toe structure pretty much for like a long time now. I don't know what the exact date is, but they've been pretty much supporting that theory for a while. But as you could, bless you, as you could tell, what Roman was saying, not only like that exercise that's going to help with this, as well as Roman was saying like that, that relaxed theory, the sliding filament theory, like you're going to, as you could tell from that, like that paragraph, like it's atrophying and lengthening only. So if you're not doing the other things like extending or letting your foot get good support, then this will show up in your lifetime, or you'll cause something. For me personally, I always liked the wider shoe theory because the fact that my feet were always I played basketball my whole life, and I felt like all my basketball shoes growing up were like smashing my feet together. And also too, side note, like my father, like he didn't grow up like in like a rich family, so like they couldn't afford like shoes growing up. But you could tell if you look at like older generations that couldn't afford like shoes all the time, like when you're a kid, you could tell like his pinky toe is pretty much smashed on his fourth toe. And it's like his foot formed, so pretty much it looks like he's got the width of 4 toes. So, honestly, recently I've been wearing a lot of my, I have old school Reebok, I think they're CrossFit powerlifting shoes, and they're the low tops, and I've always worn them. I had the high top versions before I got the low tops. They don't really make them anymore. But I know they're starting to make new shoes that have wide toe bases. So this can help maybe support that theory. And Chris Duffin makes now he's part owner of a company, Vivio Feet. If Reebok ever brings back the CrossFit shoes, Reebok's a good one. I should go grab them, but pretty much it follows your feet, but it gives your your toes a wider toe base. So, you can spread out, you can get support. Those are typically my walking shoes every day. Or if I'm lifting upper body, I tend to not really lift I don't really work out like legs with those on, because sometimes I will squat with squatting shoes, like Ollie shoes. But they help me. It helps like recover my leg workouts a lot when I'm doing those walks. I don't know if it's because of the shoes, but I definitely love having the wider support, and it's kind of a minimalist shoe. Also too, to support that wide theory of your shoes, if for some reason you obviously Roman and I are frugal people, but if for some reason you want to like check this out, another trick is too that I learned on Squat University. I did it actually to my Olympic lifting shoes that I squat in, and then I usually will do the rest of my leg session in them because I don't feel like taking pairs off of shoes every time I'm doing a lift. But if you, because you know how the shoe has a bunch of holes to lace the shoes, if you take out like the furthest one closest to your toes and like you just start from like a second or third hole later, it will kind of loosen out the toe structure portion of it. So I actually do that on my squat shoes now. The Nike Romaleos, they don't really have a lot of like holes to work with when you're lacing the shoe. So I honestly just moved it. I only moved it one, but I know some shoes like Vans or like Chuck Taylors, like Converse, they have like tons of like shoelace holes where you can maybe get away with those by going like 2 holes forward and start lacing your shoe from there. But yeah, Roman, what do you, I mean, as I say, again, I'm talking too much, but go ahead.
You're good. I think they call it like a toe box. So one brand that Laura's really a big fan of is Ultras. So she actually has Ultra running shoes for just like kind of walking around casual type stuff.
Ultra, you said?
Yeah, Altra.
Altra. Okay, I'll look that up. I've never really looked into them. Yeah.
Ultras are really cool because they have like very interesting philosophies on shoes. So they're a 0 drop shoe, so there's no difference between like the heel of the foot and the fore and like the forefoot. So it's even, and the reason why they do that is the quote unquote old style of shoes is that
that's a cool looking pair.
Yeah.
That's a pretty yeah. Go ahead.
Heck yeah, buddy. Is to have like a lifted heel. So you'd have like maybe like 6 millimeter, 8, 10, 12 millimeter like heel. And like, you know, this is from running shoes. And like, these aren't like, you know, heels that like you think of like, oh, you know, someone wears like a pair of heels, you know, like 3, 5-inch heels. It's just like, it's a slight amount. It might only be like a centimeter. But it's enough where some people believe that the position that it puts the Achilles tendon in, that might be like an additional like issue that's like an additional reason that's causing like people issues with their like overall like foot health. So Ultras is like big on like this 0 drop, so having a like an even heel to forefoot as well as a wide toe box, so that your toes can more naturally spread or splay within the shoe, and that allows a more normal walking or movement pattern. So that's an interesting company to look at, is Ultra, as well as Vibrams. Vibrams are the ones that have like the footies. So if you're into that, both of them are relatively pricey, I would say. You can find Ultras at
that's why they need to bring these back.
Yeah.
These I think were brand new, like $65. But like I said, they even have like grippers for squatting. So these are pretty much for powerlifting. They have like little suction cups. But as you could tell, like from the shoe, like you don't see this on a normal shoe. Like the toe box is a lot wider than the heel.
Yeah.
Typically you would see a shoe like maybe end right here, and you got like a whole like 1/2 inch to an inch wider than a typical shoe. And these are great. You know, they're low tops. I used to have high tops, but like they kind of remind me of like the lifting shoes for like Chuck Taylors or Vans, because you know a lot of people do lift in Vans and Converse. I've had these. Like I said, I walk in them like every day. I've had these for like 2-3 years. I think, Roman, you've seen them once at work. I've probably worn them to work maybe once, but yeah, they stopped making these. And Jesse Burdick and Mark Bell actually made these shoes. I think they lost a contract or / like, I guess Reebok they wanted to make more of a CrossFit shoe and not such a powerlifting shoe. So everyone got confused. Like they named them CrossFits, but you got Jesse Burdick and Mark Bell talking about powerlifting. So I don't know if that was the cause. But for some reason, I still see these in the gym. My family got me these, so I don't know how they found them, but like I think that was like after production. but I think you could still find them. I think they're called, I think they're just, if you look up like Power Lights or CrossFit Reeboks, like you could probably find them on like the outlet stores. But I actually found my high top out at an outlet store. I think I got them for like $50. So like Roman was saying, like the Vivios I was talking about before you went in the Ultras, they're like 120, $130. Like it's crazy. You could get like a 25% discount code, but still, that's like still $100. So like I get it. Like I love these shoes, but I'm scared. And like, cause one of our buddy Alex, he gave me a 25% code out Vivio, or Vivo. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, but he gave me a code, but when I go on the website, they're all freaking sold out anyway. So how am I even supposed to buy the shoes? Like I can't even buy like any shoes, even the most expensive ones.
Yeah. So I know you can find Ultras at DSW, like their outlet store for probably around like $60 or so.
Nice.
So you can get a good deal there. What I would caution you for, so Laura got a pair at DSW, and she actually absolutely hated the running shoes the Ultra running shoes she got at DSW, because the insert that was in them, although they still were technically zero drop, this is apparently like an old way of thinking. This is the way like the guy in like the shoe section in REI, this is where she ended up getting the new ones that she absolutely loves. But he told us that the old way of thinking is to overcorrect pronation with the insert. So it would essentially be like sloped up so that the person would not like pronate their foot as much every time they walked. Like if you've ever seen somebody that their like foot kind of caves in when they walk. Small amounts of pronation are totally like fine and understandable within like the realm of like just natural like movement patterns. But if you have excessive amounts of pronation, that could lead to injury. So what they were saying is like from their experience that the old school way, and Ultra also adopted this like way of thinking, is that they would like add additional like cushion and structure to the shoe so that it wouldn't pronate as much. But what Laura what her feel was that like she felt like one of her feet, I think it was her right foot, was like literally sliding off the shoe, is what she said. So when she would go to the gym or like, we'd go for a walk, she was like, these are super uncomfortable shoes. So she could like just never get comfortable in the shoes. So we canned those, and we went to REI. I think we ended up spending like $150 for the Ultras, but she loves them, so absolutely worth it. So I would just caution you, make sure you walk around a little bit, because that type of shoe might be perfect for some, but it might not be great for you if you go to try them out. But yeah, that's just want to give you those helpful tips there, Gainz Nation.
Gainz Nation. Well, thank you for staying. Thank you for watching. If you made it this far, please like, comment, subscribe. We're on all audio and video platforms. Make sure you tell your friends, tell your family, comment on our YouTube posts, rate us on Apple Podcasts, podcast app, Spotify, and we'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.